Hello, in this video we will see some programs based on list. Say we take a variable L and take some input in it. Let us just print this and let us see its type also. We all know that the input function property is it gives a string as a result. So if we take this list are enclosed within square brackets, but the type here shown is string because it's a property of function input. So we need to evaluate it as a string. So eval function helps us to do that. Now if you take the list in square brackets, you will see the type returned is list. To access each of the element, or in fact any of the element, we use square brackets like this. Index. So first element is represented by L square bracket 0, second L1 and so on. So say we enter say 4, 7, 5. So answer 4 and 7 because L 0 and 1. Now what if I want to display each of the element of the list? So we can access each of these elements using a loop, a range function. Till where? Till the length of L. Now instead of these 0, 1 and on, if we take this variable I, what will happen? I will hold first of all value 0, then 1 and till the length minus 1 because range function returns value from 0 to n minus 1. Now we see any values. You can see 5, 2, 1 and 7. Another method to access each of the element is just like we do in strings. For item in the sequence, that is L. So this variable item will hold the value one by one from the list L, the sequence L. Now if we display this variable item, you can see enter a list, say 5, 3, 6, 9 and anything. 5, 3, 6, 9, all values are displayed. Suppose we want to display only multiples of say 2, that is even elements. So I want that this item should be even, means remainder with 2 should give me 0. Then I want to print that element. So suppose we take list 3, 7, 8, 6, 5, 9. The result, only 8 and 6 are even, so they are displayed. Now we also know that a list can hold mix of values. So in case we have 4, 2, high, then what happens? 4 and 2 is fine, but as soon as a string comes, then it will say type error. Not all arguments converted during string. Hence, if your list may hold any other value other than these numbers and all, then we want to deal with only integers. Then only I want to check for even or odd or any other multiple. Then first ensure that the type of this item is what? Int. Then let us check that it is even and finally let us print it. Now let us run this with some mixed values. Say 4, 5, 6, hello, 2, bye. See the result 4, 6, 2. The strings are not taken care because the type of this item is not integer. Now instead of displaying, suppose we need to count all the even elements. Hence we need a variable for counting. Say C is 0. As soon as the element remainder by 2 gives me 0, instead of printing, what we want to increase the variable C by 1. C plus is equal to 1 or C equal to C plus 1. When the loop gets over, we may print this, that the number of even elements are these many. C. Let us run this. Enter a list. Say 12, 4, 3, 5, 9, 10. How many even elements we have entered? 12, 4 and 10, that is 3. Similarly, if instead of counting, we want to find the sum of all the even elements, then instead of C, I have taken variable S. As soon as the element is even, we need to add it in the variable S. So S is equal to S plus this item. So the sum of all even elements is this variable S. Let us run this. Enter a list. Say we enter the same values 12, 4, 3, 5, 9, 10. See the sum. 12 plus 4 is 16 plus 10 is 26. Now suppose we wish to make some changes in the list. Say all even elements, we wish to replace them with their squares. Now, as soon as the number item is even, we want that this item should be replaced by its square. Now, will it change in the list? No. Let us just display this list after changing. Say enter a list 3, 4, 5, 6. The list still is 3, 4, 5 and 6. Hence this method of accessing the list by using this for item in L will not be able to make any change in the element. If you want to make some change, then you have to use the method based on the indexes, that is for I in range the length of L. Using this, we will be able to make some changes. So if this type of element, that is, now we have to use Li, is integer, then let us check its whether even or not. If even, we want that it should be replaced by its square. Now let us run this. Say 3, 4, 5, 6. The 4 square is replaced with 16. 6 square is replaced with 36. Rest all elements are unchanged. Now let us do a program to find the largest element from a given list of numbers. Say to find the largest, we are taking a variable large, and for example let us take initially it as 0. Let us access each of the element one by one for item in L. So first the variable item will hold value at index 0, then at 1 and so on. If this item is greater than my variable large, then we have to store this in the variable large. Finally, we can print that the largest element is the variable large. Let us run this. We need to give the list of numbers, say 4, 1, 99, 2, 13, 100, 3, like that. If we can see, the result largest is 100. What if we have elements all negatives? -3, -4, -1. It says largest is 0 because we have taken large as 0 initially. So this large equal to 0 will work only when you are sure that your list of numbers are all positive. If the numbers may be negative, then let us initialize it with any value from the list itself, say L0. We assume that the L0 is the larger, then compare all elements of the list one by one. So now let us run this with values. Say we have given earlier 4, 1, 99, 2, 13, 100, 3. The result coming is 100. Perfect. Now enter the list some negative numbers, -3, -4, -1. The result coming largest is -1. Perfect. Now let us do a program to create a list consisting of integers 0 through 19. That is, we want a list 0, 1, 2, 3 till 19. So let us take an empty list and run a loop from 0 till 19. Hence range 20 will work perfectly fine for us. Range 20 means values from 0 to 19. This value I we want to add in this list L. To add the element in a list at the end, two ways maybe. We can have first is L is equal to L plus I, but I to be taken in a list. Then let us display this list L. We can see the result, the list 0, 1, 2, 3 till 19. Similarly, suppose instead of these numbers directly, we want a list with their squares. Then instead of I, we'll take I into I. Let us run this. Now we'll see a list 0, 1, 4, 9 till last 19 square 361. The second method to add any element at the end of the list is using function append. So L dot append I. Append means to add at the end. If we run this, we'll see 0, 1, 2 list till 19. And if we have I into I means we want a list with perfect squares. So we'll see the list 0, 1, 4 till 361. So any of these two ways you may use to add the element at the end. Next, let us do a program to create a list with elements. First just 1A, next 2B's, next 3C's, and so on. So the last element we want 26 times letter or alphabet Z. Before doing this, we need to just have a recap of the multiplication operator with strings, that is repeating strings. If we say alphabet C multiplied 3, what it gives? C 3 times. Similarly, if we have an alphabet E multiplied say 5 times. Similarly, if we have an alphabet Z multiplied by maybe 26 times, we'll have. So all these alphabets one by one we need to access. We multiply it by the number, say that is A, we wish to multiply it by 1, B 2, C 3, and so on. So we need a loop which runs 1 to 26. So we will have a loop 1 to 27 because 27 will not be taken. And in a list we'll add one by one the element. So we need one empty list in which we'll append, and we need the alphabets also A to Z. Now in this list we wish to append this alphabet multiplied by this many times. Alphabet first A multiplied one time, then next element B multiplied two times. So we wish to multiply this I, first of all is 1 multiplied with this A. A is at alphabet location or index 0, hence alpha I minus 1. I initially 1, so I into alphabet I minus 1 means 1 into alpha 0. Alpha 0 is A, so 1 into 1 time A. Next time when I becomes 2, 2 into alpha 1 is B, so 2 times B, and so on. We are appending one by one. Let us print this list. We can see the list A, then 2 times B, then 3 times C, then 4 times D, and the last you may count it 26 times Z. Next, let us take a list of string and then create a new list which will have those strings which have length 3. For example, if our list is given hello to all of you, each word separately, then only those words which have length 3 should be part of our final list. So let us start by taking the input of list of strings. Let's create a new list which is empty right now. We need to access each element in the list. We'll find the length of this list, and if the length of this element is 3, then we need this item to be part of the new list. In this list, it should be added as a list. Let us print this new list. Let's run it. Enter a list. Say we enter this same list. Hello to all of you. The result is all you. Similarly, if we run it again, we have only the word or the string which is of length 3. Next, we take a list of string and we'll display the longest string and its length. For example, if our list is hello to all, these strings are part of our list, then the output must be that the longest string is hello and its length is 5. So let us start with taking input for the list of strings. We need the longest string. Initially, let us have it empty string, and its length of longest string is 0. Each element in the list we will access. We'll find the list length of this element, and if this length happens to be more than our length of longest string which we have assumed, then we need to store this length in our longest string, and my longest string is also this A. When the loop runs fully, we will get these two results, that is, the longest string is, we have variable long str and we have its length in variable len of long. Let us run this. Put list hello to all. we'll see the longest string is hello and its length is 5. Let us try to understand this little bit more. First, we have taken the variable long str, a blank, and its length is 0 right now. One by one, each element we will take from the list. For A in L means, first of all, in A, hello will be there. We'll find its length, which is 5. This 5 is greater than the length of the long, which is 0 right now. So 5 is greater than 0. Yes, it is. Hence, in my this variable len long, which is right now 0, will become length of A, which is 5. And my longest string will also be this A, which is hello. So long str equal to A means my longest string is right now hello. The next, when the loop runs A, now it will take 2. So the length of this A, TO2, is numeral 2. This 2 is greater than 5? No, it is not. So these two statements will be ignored. The next iteration, it will take all. In A, it will have all. The length of all is 3. Is 3 greater than 5? No. Again, these two statements are ignored. Next, there is no more string. Hence, the loop finish. Finally, the longest string is the long str, which is hello, and its length is 5. We may have some more words or strings here. Then you will see that it will change. Next, we'll do a program to take list of strings and then create new list that consists of those strings with their first characters removed. For example, the list is words hello, then to, then all. Then observe, each word's first alphabet is removed. Now, let us start with taking an input of list of strings. We'll take a new list, first empty, and then we'll add one element to it with the first alphabet or character removed. So before proceeding further, let us see how we can remove the first alphabet or character from a string. So suppose we have a string, say hello, then we can easily do it with a string slice. 1 : till the end means the first is gone. But if you see S, it is still hello. If you want to change it, then we know strings are immutable, you cannot change it, but the string entirely can point to a different string. So I can have S is equal to S1 : so S1 means ELLO, and now S is pointing over here. So you can print this. Now it has become ELLO. The same concepts we will use it here. One by one we will access each of the element of the list, which is basically a word or a string here. So now in this A we will store A1 : so the first alphabet or character is removed, and then in new list just add it at the end of this. Means you may use the function append, or you may use, as we have seen earlier, plus is equal to as a list A, both are same. Then print this new list. Let us see the result. It will ask us to enter a list of strings. Now let us just enter this same hello to all. You'll see the first alphabet or character is removed from each of the words. Next, let us write a program to enter list containing numbers. Then replace all the entries which are greater than 10 by a number 10. For example, if list is 3, 12, 15, 1 and 4, then after replacing it must become 3, 10, 10, 1, 4. Here 12 and 15 are greater than 10, hence they must be replaced by 10. Let us start by taking an input of the list of numbers. Now we need to access the elements, but if we use this method, here we will not be able to make any change in the element. So we need to deal with the indexes. Hence we'll use the method which we have demonstrated earlier also. So I will hold first 0, then 1, and so on. Now if the element at this list is greater than 10, then at the same place we want to store 10. When the loop will run fully, we can display this list L. You will see that all the numbers which are greater than 10 are replaced by 10 itself. Suppose we have 3, 12, 15, 1, 4. You will see the result 3, 10, 10, 1 and 4. So wherever the list item is greater than 10, we are just replacing it by 10. That's it. Next, we'll write a program that reverses a list in place. Means we will not create a new list. It will reverse in that same list variable. So let us input a list of numbers. Now, before proceeding, we will just look once again how we can swap in Python. If a is 2, b is 3, we want these values to be interchanged. We can just write a comma b is b comma a, means the a will point now to the b which is 3 and b will now point towards a which is 2. Now if we just print a and b, you will see instead of 2 and 3 it will become 3 and 4. A is now 3, b is 2. Similarly, if we have a list is equal to, we have say 4, 5, these two elements are there. We want that in this list 5 should come first, then 4. That means the L0 which is showing me 4 and L1 which is right now 5, they should be interchanged. Hence what we'll do, L0 and L1, they should hold now the values of L1 and L0. Now if you see what is the list, it is now 5 and 4. This concept we will use it over here. So input, enter a list of numbers. Say for example we'll see 3, 12, 15, 1 and 4. To interchange, what we need is that this 3 and this 4, that is the first element and last element, should get interchanged. So we need two variables here. One which should start from the 0, that is starting of the list, and another which will start from the last, means length of the list minus 1, that is the index of the last element of the list. Now till these variables I and j, this I is smaller than j, 0 is less than this last, yes of course, then we'll just interchange the variables li, lj, means the values at these indexes, the first and last, we'll just interchange them. So lj, li, this just now I have explained, L01 and L10. For the future, this I should be increased by 1 and j should be decreased by 1. Just print this list. Let us run this. So enter a list of numbers. I copy this. You can see 4, 1, 15, 12, 3, the list is interchanged. Please let us just see it once again. I is 0, so L of 0 means the number 3. J is length of the list minus 1. The last element index here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Length of the list, the numbers are 5, so 5 minus 1 is 4. Coincidentally, the number is also 4 and index is also 4. Now, is 0 less than 4? Yes. So L0 and L4 means this number 3 and this number 4, they got interchanged because of this swapping. For next iteration, I is increased by 1, so I becomes 1, and j is decreased by 1, so j will become 3. So 1 is less than 3, yes it is. L1 and L3 will get interchanged. L1 is 12 and L3 is 1, so 12 and 1 got interchanged. For the future, I mean next iteration, I is increased by 1, I becomes 2, j decreased by 1, j becomes 2. Is 2 less than 2? No, the loop terminates. Finally, we have displayed the list. Next, let us write a program that takes any two equal size list of integers. Then we'll form a new list whose elements are sum of corresponding elements in the given two list. For example, if the first list is 9, 11, 14, second list same size, that is 3 elements here also 6, 12 and 12, then the new list final result n 15, 23, 26 means L1 0, L2 0 added to become the n 0. Similarly, L1 1 and L2's 1 added to become n's 1, and finally the last L1's 2 and L2's 2 to be added and becomes or stored in n2. The index is 0, 1, 2. So let us begin by taking the input of both the list L1 and L2. Enter list of numbers, same size list we need to have the indexes. So for I in range any one, we may use the lengths L1 or L2, both will be fine because both are of same size. Then we need to have it the sum of these L1i and the L2's I to be added in a new list. Their sum to be added in a new list. So let us take a new list n, and this sum to be added at the end means append at the end of the list. When entire loop finishes, we can display the new list. Enter a list of numbers, say 9, 11, 14. Enter second list, we have 6, 12, 12. The result is 15, 23 and 26. Next, let us do rotating or shifting elements in a list. One left means if we have 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 as the elements, then 1 left, it will shift. 15 will come in place of 14, 14 will come in place of this 13, 13 will come in place of 12, 12 will come in place of 11, and hence this 11 towards 1 left, it will go instead of 15, means towards the last. You may read these three statements to make the question clear. Now to have this, say let us have a list with say 11, 12, 13, and we want that at A0 we should have the element at A1. As soon as we do it, you will see 12, 12, 13 means the 12 is stored there, but we have the 12 two times, or I can say the 11 is now gone for us. We do not have any copy of it. Hence, before proceeding, we need to have somewhere stored this 11. So let me start once again. If I have 11, 12, 13 and somewhere temporarily I store this A0. Now if I have statement A0 is equal to A1, I have 12, 12, 13, no problem. Now in A1, let us store this A2. So now we have 12, 13, 13, and now finally at the last index, which using backward index I can say -1, I can now store this temp, which I have the record which is of 11. So you can see the original list 11, 12, 13. After shifting 1 left, 12 has come to the first place, 13 to the second, and the very first element 11 has come to the last place. So this logic we have to use with repetition. So let us start by beginning the input of a list. Now as we said, we need to store temporarily the very first element of the list, and we need a loop with the index range function, the length of L. But here, as here we are having 3 elements, and this type of statement we needed 2 times only. So when there are 5 elements, we need 4 times, hence 1 less we will see. We'll see this once again, what I mean by this -1. Now L0 equal to L1 means I can have Li is equal to L of I plus 1. Now let us just print the list. Enter a list. Say we enter list 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We'll see 12, 13, 14, 15, and 15 is also coming, means we have not stored the first element, the temporary variable at the last index. So L of -1 is equal to this time for which we have taken that variable. Now let us run this once again. So 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15. We'll see all the elements are shifted one left, and the 11 has the first place value has moved to the last. Now let us examine this -1 little bit more. Why this -1? This range length of L, initially suppose we have 5 elements, so length of L means 5, range 5 means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then this Li is equal to Li plus 1. So when range last value 4, so L4 equal to L5, but there is no L5 here, hence it will result in an error. So if I remove this -1, the list, I just write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then it will result in an index error. The list index is out of range. So that is why we need -1 over here. Thank you for watching.